Coverage of the Apple Blossom Royalty Selection Pageant on the NCWLIFE channel is brought to you in part by Confluence Health, high-quality care close to home. Confluence Health is dedicated to improving their patients' health with safe, high-quality care in 12 communities. Well, it is coming up on pageant time, and that means I get to introduce you to our top 10 candidates. And they're normally not in any particular order, but actually we have them in a particular order. We're in their speech order, so we're gonna go from 1 all the way to 10. And today we get to meet Natalie Pearson, who is the daughter of Travis and Kristen. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I've played softball since I was probably about 4 years old, which, funny story, I actually played for an all-boys t-ball team the first time because my parents couldn't find any girls t-ball or whatever. And so yeah, that's how I started with softball, and of course being around a bunch of little boys all the time, I got frustrated and things of that sort. But I stuck with it. Now I'm thankfully on a team with other girls, so that's good.
And it's not just your high school team, it's a travel team too,
yes.
Which probably keeps you pretty busy, doesn't it?
Yeah, very busy, yeah. So for our high school team, we have practice every day during the week after school. And during the winter time, we had to use an indoor facility, and practices were, I think, 4 hours long when we couldn't practice outside because we had to go from the small gym to the hitting facility, and it was about 2 hours at each. And then when we did get to practice outside, it went to normal practice time. And then for my NCW travel team, very busy summers. I mean, every weekend traveling somewhere for a tournament.
Now, I think you mentioned in your bio you have a dog. What's your dog's name?
My dog's name is Trigger.
Trigger, okay.
Yes.
Now, so that's one of the questions I was going to ask each of the young ladies here. How did Trigger get its name?
I don't even remember really because I was actually very against the name at first. At the time, like a lot of other young girls, I think, were obsessed with the movie Tangled, and the love interest in the movie, his name is Flynn Rider. And I don't know why, but I was like, I want to name the dog Rider. And my parents were like, no, we don't like that, no. And then they would keep thinking of names, and I refused to hear out any of their ideas. And for about 2 weeks after we had the dog, I kept calling him Rider in like an act of defiance, I guess, and nobody else called him that, and eventually I gave up, and now he's just Trigger.
Why did you decide to run for Apple Blossom?
Oh, so many reasons. I think this is a really unique opportunity. It's only available to senior girls, and I just feel like it would have been too much of an opportunity to pass up. And normally I'm not the pageant type, you know. That's not something that I would typically gravitate towards, but the opportunity and also all the stories I've heard about how great of an experience it was and just the life lessons it gives you, it was just too big of an opportunity to pass up, really.
What did you think when you were named top 10?
A lot was going through my head, yeah. I was thinking about, mainly just thinking about going and hugging all my family members and knowing that they were proud of me. That's the biggest thing that was running through my head, I think.
So, general question. Do you think teenagers spend too much time on their phone?
Yes. I mean, I spend too much time on my phone. Like, I'm a good example of that. I think every teenager probably spends a lot of time on their phone. But I think it's also hard because we're in such a technology-based era right now that so much of our lives revolve around technology, especially as young teenagers with social media and things of that sort. I think we're like the first generation really getting to experience this at a young age. So I think it's kind of inevitable that we're going to spend time on technology, but it could be cut down a little bit for sure.
Have you gotten in trouble with being on your phone too much?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad said, hey.
Yes, I think for a little while, I think I was getting my screen time monitored because during quarantine especially, my parents were like, why don't you go for a walk? Let's do something, because you get sucked into those Netflix shows and then all of a sudden hours have gone by.
I'm guilty there too.
Yeah.
So if you're given an extra hour in a day, what would you do with it?
Depends on the season. Right now, I'd probably want to cuddle up with like hot chocolate and sit on my couch and watch a good movie, but during the summer, I love going to like Chelan, or going out to eat is also really big thing for me. I'm a huge foodie, so I love going out to eat too.
Okay. What do you think adults should focus on most?
I think being happy. I think a lot of adults, or at least a lot of the adults in my life, get stressed out very easy because there's a lot of responsibilities that comes with being an adult. But I think being happy throughout all the time frames of your life is the biggest thing, and just remembering to prioritize that and make sure you're in a good place.
What's the hardest part of this process for you?
For me, it's very time consuming, and I love what we get to do with that time. All the events we have are really fun, and all the people hosting us or teaching us things, it's amazing. But then I think I get home and kind of forget I have other things I need to do too. So that's been hard, but it definitely teaches you time management and helps with that as well.
We forgive you for your head spinning just a little bit. So you have a choice here.
Okay.
Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok, and why?
Oh my gosh.
You can only choose one.
Okay, I don't really use Facebook and Instagram that often. I want to say Snapchat because I like being able to like send videos back and forth with my friends, but I think deep down I know that I would probably pick TikTok if it came down to it, just because I think everybody is a little bit addicted to that app. So.
Yeah, definitely so. Any final message you'd like the audience to know about Natalie?
Just that I'm really happy to be in this position, and I'm really grateful to be in this position. And also for any young girls that might be watching it, just that even if you feel like you're not normally pageant type, you can do something like this, and it's worth it.
Well, thanks for coming in and
Thank
taking
you
the
for
time.
having me.
Natalie Pearson joining us here on the NCWLIFE channel as we meet the top 10 candidates. We'll have more of our candidate interviews coming up here on the NCWLIFE channel.